Hey, what's up? Good good evening. Hopefully you can hear me. Um one sec here. Trying to do something a little different, um, production wise, you could call it. Um, so see how this plays out today, this evening, and see if it's something that, we can continue doing. Um, just getting some stuff sorted out here. Get comments up. Just want to make sure I can see chat and everything. Right. So all in all, everything looks good. All good. So yeah, hopefully everybody's had a decent weekend so far. Ready for this week to come. And I'm actually it's one of the things that I did want to do. Um throw this banner on. One of the other things I wanted to do is just to kind of be able to put something up so everybody could see like the news and stuff. So again, I'll be rolling some stuff out. Um like I said, just trying to work, enhance, do a couple things differently. So get rid of that. I think that's everything. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so we're good. So today, what are we looking at today? What's going on? Like what's the modus operandi? Right. Well, previous day high. Um Looking to see what reaction, if anything, that we get from this point of interest above, which is obviously going to take out previous day high, which would be Friday, and yeah, just see what we get, pretty much. Um, that's where I'm at right now. So there's couple of ideas that I have, and then just looking at the higher time frame. So looking from the daily, it looks like we could be looking at potentially like some bullish price action, but we might be short. Again, also with this week's economic news, could have a mixed week. Like a lot of things just kind of depend on stuff. So so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how everything plays. I forgot I was on a 1 minute. I was looking at it, I was like, man, that looks that looks a little bit more concise. So yeah, this is kind of like an idea that I have right now, but we'll have to see how we open. Um it's crazy trying something different, like a different kind of live stream with and I'm actually doing this through what is it called? StreamYard. So thought I'd give it a shot, see how I like it. The integration and excuse me, into like the live stream. Like it's pretty cool. Just well, integration and live stream. The integration in with YouTube, I think, is pretty good. So it's pretty much just, I just had to log in and like add a couple of things. So far so good. I don't mind. It's like you can add extra. Oh, I didn't know that. And then I could add an extra camera to it as well. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so we'll have to see if today is a chill out and wait, or if we kind of find ourselves in a, we're in where we're looking, or in where we want to be, and we can jump into a position. So we just have to see. We got a few minutes to go though. Wow. So I can actually add music to this as well. Interesting. Yeah, there are only like a couple of these tracks in here, but that's almost enough to make me just kind of want to go back to just like using like OBS. It does. I mean, call me a creature of habit, but I don't know. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes before we open here. See if we can get a. Can I do a poll? I can do a poll. Let's see. Um, that's kind of ambitious, but That's actually pretty ambitious. So I'm basically looking to see, just with the news and everything this week, if you think that we could close above 22,000 for the week. And I say it's ambitious because we're sitting at what, uh 20,909. So um I just kind of feel like there's enough going on, good and bad, that we could get something that shakes up price and gets us to move, or not, and it could be the complete opposite. So yeah, I'll have to play with this a little bit more. um See if I can add um different things to the stream. I know one of the things I can do in here is I can actually just like do like recorded videos, not necessarily like the lives. So I want to try a couple more of these layouts. Obviously I won't do it this evening, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get. And then the music thing, I don't know what we're gonna do about music. I have no idea. If anything, maybe nothing. I mean, I can hear it, but it may be just like hella boring for you all if you just hear me talking and yeah, there's no music in the background. But I guess that's kind of like the least of the worries and whatnot. So all right, inside a minute for the open. About 30 seconds. Now you guys can't hear music, but you'll definitely hear about that dang blasted phone going off. All right, 10 seconds. See what we get.
The markets are open.
Wow. Holy smoke. Massive gap up. If we get a close through, maybe a short. We don't, kind of hands off. I mean, it's reasonable to assume that, we could safely say that we've opened above a previous day high. So at best, a closure back inside. Um, I don't know that we literally look to run the opposing side's liquidity. That would be the idea, but as I said, like this week, chock full of news and whatnot. Like that's kind of that's going to be a little bit of a tough sell, especially again as you can see. Like that's why I have that ticker on and economic news for this week. Obviously, NFP being the crescendo of the week on Friday, but again, like jobless claims, things like that on Thursday, uh, PMI, so litany of stuff. I think it's the first week. What's this like the first week or 2 weeks? I didn't dive in on the first candle. Like the kid that hadn't been to the pool the entire summer and was like, as soon as I saw the water, I was like, fuck the bathing suit. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm jumping in. Let me go to open the chat. Okay. All right, about 10 seconds before our first 5-minute candle closes or the 6 p.m. candle closes. Okay. I'm not short. I just stuck that out there. I had an idea based on how we how we might open today. That's all. Like this was just my long short tool. I was just saying to myself like there might be a possibility, but I'm not short. But that would have been just based on the run higher on Friday before we closed. How you doing, Hydra? I'm trying to make this bigger. Let's see. There we go. How long you been trading? Total 6 years. Having a clue of what I'm doing. About 3. One more peep out of that phone. I think I'm gonna have to flip it over. Go to a do not disturb status. Oh, okay. Me and technology. Sometimes I get excited. It's like, oh, you can actually highlight that. That's pretty cool. They might have me there. Wow. What do I think of ICT? I think that if it's somebody that's coming into the space that doesn't really have a decent foundation of just like basic concepts, I think ICT is a good place maybe to get some level of grounding. I know that, obviously, and then I've gone through a lot of, excuse me, his the core content, and I went through the, I believe it was a 20. I didn't go through the entire 2022 mentorship. I did when he actually did, I want to say the was it the 2023? I did that. But a lot of like the core concepts I went through. And obviously, like, yes, he does like a lot of, he will go on and on. But I think, and it took me a while to understand it, and I think that some people still don't. But a lot of times when he's going on like his rants, if you look at, like, he's talking, but if you're looking at maybe the screenshot or the snapshot, it's not in every case, it's not in every one of the lectures, but sometimes what he's showing you is absolutely what's going on. And or what he's talking about is what's going on the chart sometimes. So not all the time, like I said, but yeah. So that is it. So this may actually be off to the races. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay. Well, that's it for you. If they need me, they're going to have to come ring my doorbell. That is about, that's greater than. 1812. How much of I was funded 50K. So kind of working to get back to that. I blew that XFA. I blew it a minute ago. So just steadily working to get back to that. And I'm actually between Topstep and Tradeify. So I've been actually trading a 150K Tradeify combine as well. So I like to do like all of my analysis and everything through Topstep X. I've gotten comfortable with this over TradingView. I appreciate it, Hydra. Thank you. Yeah, no bullshit here, man. I'm not it's not I'm never gonna be here to like impress or anything like that. It's like it is what it is. At the end of the day, like, you know, people that bullshit, it's not really gonna improve their lives if like when you really think about it, if they really think about it. So yeah. My word actually means something to me, like whether people believe it or not. So, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I think this is just gonna go. Well, not go, but go back to this 15. That was 10. It's 12:30. Yeah, it's really not a whole lot to do other than to just kind of wait, watch, and see. Because there's like honestly, there's like absolutely like nothing to do. The only thing that we can say definitively for right now is if you're looking at like previous daily highs and lows, as I said, like we gapped up and above Friday's daily high. So, you know, you could check that off the list if looking for any type of a retracement or closure, as I said previously, any kind of closure back in. But I would be skeptical of a long-term short, just because of, and I know this is a 15-minute, but if I'm looking at this, I would be skeptical of like a longer term short, because there's some people that would see this as just consolidation, but when I see this, this screams like accumulation to me. It also, in some respects, like, you know, panning back out. It's a very sloppy, but it could be, for those that are familiar, since Hydra mentioned ICT, it would be appropriate for me to say it looks like a very non-beautifully formed market maker model. So we could be, you know, looking at a a buy model. Which again, if this is actually what it is, it's going to be a minute before we get back down here. But like I said, that's based on just technicals being that, and economic news being in line with order flow and no crazy stuff going on geopolitically, which we're pretty much well past at this point. It's bound to be, quite a few more. I don't even want to call them surprises, but there, bound to be some more things that'll go on that will kind of just disrupt like the technical analysis of just looking at price. So just have to remain vigilant and aware with that kind of stuff. Go back down. Just zoom in here. All right. So one person thinks that we'll close above 22K by the end of the week. Chat keeps disappearing. Ech. Ech. There it goes. I had to wave it off for it to pop back up. All right. Yeah, this is going to be like a slow kind of developing thing. I'm thinking that also maybe it might not be a bad idea. I know some, like every Globex open or 6 p.m. open isn't the same. Like there's some that open with a little bit more price action even at the onset. But it seems like maybe we can maybe start, and I don't know, I have to test it out, see how it works, but maybe starting at say like maybe 7:30, because usually you start to get a little bit of movement after 8 p.m. And I realize, yes, it's overnight, it's not a high volatile or high volatility session or sessions, but just something a little different until at some point I can get back to trading New York Open, which I don't want to say I don't know how that's going to happen, but with my work schedule and everything, it's hella difficult to do. And I'd much rather, like, if given the option, like obviously I'd much rather look at live stream like these sessions, or even like a post New York when I'm able to get back after the 9:30, like at least like by the close of the initial balance. So here by like 10:30, whatnot. Um, so I don't know. We'll have to see. And like I said, maybe um, I won't say definitively, but just talking through it, maybe we try that like maybe next Sunday instead of doing like a 5:45 or 6. Maybe we just we wait until like about 7:30. That way we can at least see what happened the first hour and a half, if anything at all, and kind of just assess and go from there. So might not be a bad thing to do. Um it's just starting to get like really interesting in terms of this price action. Excuse me. Very, very interesting. Jesus, man. I almost want to ask y'all to forgive me, but it's like, I'm only thinking like 4-letter expletives right now. Freaking neighbors, and I have kids. I love kids. Start by saying that, but it's like they're running a freaking circus next door. Like, it's like Barnum and Bailey's freaking circus next door. Insane, man. And I already know how to curtail it because on the days where I catch them outside, like if I go and walk my dog, my I'm not gonna say my dogs are harmless. For the most part, they are. They're just like really playful, but they're pit bulls, so there's somewhat. I they're not really aggressive, but they play aggressively, and I play with them aggressively. So whenever you know the Thunderama twins next door, like when they're outside in the front playing, if I'm taking the trash out or something like that, and I see them, I'm like, huh, this is a good idea. It's a good time to go walk, walk dogs. And they're trained. So what I like to do is I'm gonna incriminate myself here a little bit. I take them off, when I take them from the backyard, I don't leash them right away. And technically in Florida, there's like, you have to leash your animals. They don't attack or anything if I tell them come back. But what I do is I just leave them off the leash. They don't leave the yard. And if the local yokels next door are out, you know, they already know they're going for a walk. So they're, having the time of their lives. They'll come and they'll do circles in the front yard, and neighbors, pew, right back in the house. And the interesting part about that is I don't hear a peep for the rest of the night next door. So it's almost like they know. So yeah, it might be before I jumped on, I took them for their walk, but yeah, I might have to start coordinating that a little bit better. They must hear me talking because it got quiet over there. It's like, what? He's gonna. Oh no! You guys be quiet. Here's your tablet. Get in the bed. No, no, no. I'm not telling you to go to sleep. Just get in the bed. Just stop. Shh, stop making noise. Don't do it with those dogs. Yeah, and then we don't have any economic news tomorrow either. What do we have? Nothing, right? I mean, I know we don't, but I'm just trying to look and just see again if there's like remotely anything that nothing that's really going to impact us, like nada. Got like the Euro PMI for February and like their GDP, full year GDP for 24. Pound manufacturing maybe, but nah. That'll be good for probably for London session actually, because that's at 4:30. It would be like 4:30 Eastern Standard for us. So that's like 10. What time is that? 5:30. Yeah, that's 10. That's 10 a.m. London time. What am I talking about? We have PMI tomorrow. We have PMI tomorrow at 10. Get my days confused. So let's see. Looking at that, so they expect previous and consensus is the same thing. Previous was 50.9 and the consensus is 50.8. So just the long and the short of that, like obviously if the number is bigger, it's bullish, it's positive. If the number is lower or less, it's bearish. But let's see. So last results, basically the previous was 49.2, the consensus was 49.8, and then that's where we got the 50.9 from. So it was basically obviously it's a 1.1 point basis, because the units, it's not like a percentage per se. It's based on like the measure of units is in point, so it's positive 1.1 point, which you get it. There I go over explaining stuff again. So we're back inside the 6 p.m. candle. So know how much I love candle range. I do. I mean, I know that sounds like facetious as hell, but there was a point in time where I would have been all in with this candle closure here inside, and it may run back across. We'll see. Let's see. Something like that. protect basically the high above this one for the body. This would have been a lower high. So it could, but the way it's chopping back and forth, like that's not a, I mean, even I would look at that and say that like that's not a high probability position. I mean, it's likely, but it's not a high probability. So there's no reason to risk that. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really interesting evening of price action. Really, really interesting evening. Trying to see what that level is. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of ranging. Yeah, I'll just get rid of that because I don't believe that that's like, I'm not saying it won't, but yeah, I do not disagree with you there at all. I don't. Like I would say full transparency, but I'm always like full transparency. Like I'm literally thinking like at this moment, like, I kind of just want to pull a cart man and be like, screw you guys, I'm going home. Like take my ball and just go home and just be like, yeah, whatever happens. Literally, whatever happens this week, I'll come back next week. But the other side of me says, I wonder how this is going to play. Wonder how things will play out and, what kind of opportunities present themselves. So, yeah, it's the obvious stuff, reporting and everything, and I alluded to it earlier as well. Um, obviously I'm not a soothsayer or anything like that, but I just feel like there's oh yeah, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. You're absolutely yeah, I don't I'm I was about to say I've never traded. I think I might have traded NFP maybe once, but here's the crazy part about it. I did it in an Awanda account with like I laugh about it because I think it was like 1,000, like Awanda would give you like the ability to use like units. So I used like 1,000 units, which is kind of like 1/10 of 1 cent or whatever. So I wasn't really gonna hurt myself. Like I wasn't gonna be a Chappelle after that day. If it was successful, be like, I'm rich, bitch. Like it wasn't gonna be one of those. But I think that's the most I've ever done on NFP. Anything other than that has been like in a paper trade account. But yeah, it's not it's just not wise as far as I don't look at it that way. Too many uncertainties, you know. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. Now, I will say, depending, depending, um, after PMI on Wednesday, like after the ADP report and PMI, like there may be a way in or a path to maybe like I don't want to say clear, but like a pretty good directional bias because both of those reports, like basically one of them is going to come out pre-New York. So if say for whatever reason, which in my case, I don't know, I might have to go in the bathroom and practice my cough on tomorrow night and through Tuesday and be like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it in on Wednesday. But maybe around 6:30 Wednesday morning, just kind of frame like from I would say 6 to maybe 7:45 and see if there's a range prior to the ADP number at 8:15, which is again a pre-New York or pre-8:30. And then the PMI number comes out 15 minutes after the open. So you're going to have the volatility of the open. You'll have what's left over from ADP and then the PMI number. So maybe after 10:30 and that initial balance, there may be some kind of a directional bias that's already been put in place. So I would say Wednesday might be the better day or the best day of the week, maybe. Thursday with initial and continuing, and like you said, Friday NFP. Yeah. $6.41. I tell you, if it sweeps out the damn sell side from the 6 p.m. candle, that's probably like the highlight of the whole damn stream, the whole night. Now pull a Russell Simmons. Thank y'all for coming. Just wanted to thank you for coming. Good night. Mm-hmm. Do we get it? How do I trade? I like to use candle range theory primarily, but I also kind of incorporate like session ranges. So I try as best I can to just kind of keep things as simple as possible. So and I even explain how I trade, like from like a fractal thing. So I will look at basically weekly profile and try to determine from the previous week, just starting from Friday, like I have here. And for the last few weeks, when I've done my live streams, I've not done previous date. Like I haven't even identified them. I'll usually put something like the initial balance on a chart. I'll do like New York PM session, but I like to trade session ranges and candle range. So like I said, just try to keep it simple. And I'm looking for imbalances, inefficiencies to kind of frame like points of interest. But in saying that, sometimes my keep it simple approach forces me into the stupidity of sometimes taking positions that I should not take. So I am the embodiment of you win some, you lose more. But, learning process. So like to give you an idea, and it's not me, it also comes from just it primarily comes from core content information, looking at like a weekly profile when you could likely anticipate like highs and lows of the week. So for an example, like this week, just based on like the news. So like if we shut like the outside world, if that was even possible, I know it's not, but if we shut the outside world out, right, and it's just us and our economic data, and there's no geopolitical anything to disrupt, a week like this week, we'd have ADP on Wednesday. If this was like a non NFP week, you could potentially look for, say, like the high or low of the week to form on Wednesday, but maybe in the London session, right? Possibly. And it doesn't always work out that way, but you're looking for, maybe again, previous day high or Tuesday low to be taken. And you could kind of frame like everything for the rest of the week that way. Or what I kind of like to do, which again works contrary to sometimes that idea, is I like to trade the days that most people say stay out, don't trade, which is a Sunday open or Monday, whether there's news later in the week or not, because there's always a fundamental understanding and concept that plays out more times than it doesn't, which is on the Sunday Globex opens and Monday kind of does what this is. It'll open outside of Friday, but a lot of times it will find its way back inside of Friday's range. So there will be times where I might take, like I was talking about from up here, this is just a little bit too far gone for me. But yeah, if we got a break above and then a closure back inside, you might see me or hear me say something like, yeah, I'll take, let me see what I can pull from this. And I might take a short because Monday might not do a whole lot, but it may mitigate or retrace, 35, 40%, 50% of Friday's range. And then Tuesday is going to give you, maybe, depending, it may take out the lower to high of Monday, and then that kind of sets that weekly profile in place. If there's not a whole lot of displacement from Friday after taking a lower high, and like I said, a week like this week, ADP is Wednesday, you might see Tuesday higher low taken by Wednesday, or the news event itself will create that higher low. So just try to not really position too far in front of the market, but maybe just have like a very basic framework of what could happen, to where you can kind of just tag along once it kind of shows you where it's going. Wow, this is I think doing this now, like I still do, if I'm honest about it. I might be able to fish now. I don't know if anybody fishes, but I'd always been against it. I was like, oh, it's so boring. It's just like, what are we doing? I could waste my time doing something else, and so to take it at 650. Yep. Okay. So it took till 650 to take that 6 p.m. 5-minute candle. Okay, and it's going to respect this for right now. Forgive me, I'm going to take that off in a second. I just want to see. So this is basically just a 50 or the CE of like the opening gap from Friday to today's open. So I just want to see if we meet that 50%. Because there could be like a very small closure below here, and then we could just basically tap into this and then move higher, or close below and then close through this and come back, redress this and continue. So I just want to see what that reaction is, if any at all. Because if we don't get a closure through, then it may just remain as it is right now. Then we'll just have this gap until whenever. Excuse me. I've definitely referred to this market as like a early 1990s Honda, where it just kind of it takes it a while to warm up. Once the fluids are up to temp, then we're we're good to go, even on a rough week. Man, right now this market is running, moving like it needs a coolant flush. Okay, so we've got a minute before this candle closes. All right. So there's a reach back. So that's at least 50% of that opening range gap. You see it take one on a paper trade here. I just don't have like a whole lot of I have to see that. Let me take a paper trade and see what we get here. Yeah, it just looks like it doesn't really want to do anything, honestly. Clear that level and hang out. And we've got like about 2.5 minutes before this candle closes. So yeah. Set some of this paper on fire. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it's gonna bob and weave back and forth like this, like, I don't this isn't very entertaining. Um, I don't really wanna waste you guys' time. And I mean, I'll probably just sit here and watch it, if nothing else. But as always, not always, I shouldn't say that. Um, as is sometimes the case. Like typically, like I'll stop or I'll end the stream, and then the next thing I know, like price will start running and then it start moving, and I'm like, really? Really? Hey, T Money. I'm doing all right, man. How you doing? How's your weekend been? Weekend's been smooth. Good, good. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, just be careful this week. Um, yeah, I don't. I'm not the kind of person. I don't like repeating. I don't like repeating myself. Don't like beating a dead horse. But it's just like, um, and it's the same. You could probably say like the same thing for some weeks, a lot of weeks. But I would be lying if I felt like I'm not saying that this is the biggest week of the year, anything, any crazy shit like that. But it just like how sometimes like something inside just kind of tells you, hey, you might wanna, you know, um, it's just something in my gut that's just kind of telling me, if if I'm gonna be operating this week, and I just finished talking about it before you popped in today, um, tomorrow post New York Open, and the absolute last day I'm doing anything is probably gonna be Wednesday, and it's gonna have to be like so freaking obvious on Wednesday that it's just enough for me to be like, okay, even if it's $5 goddamn dollars, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm out. That's five more than I had when I came here, but I just don't really feel um I don't feel confident in delivery, if that even makes sense this week. I just feel like there's something else that might be afoot, and it just doesn't sit right with me. But obviously, I'll be in and watch, and that's it. So yeah, just be careful, man. So this is kind of what I was talking about at the very beginning when I said, you know, a gap above previous day high and reach back in, but I'd want to see closure back inside and yeah, maybe see what we could get. Nice candle. Nice. Even though I have my practice account up, that might be a little bit more than what I would want to eat from a risk standpoint. Even we got about another minute before this candle closes. Forgot I left my. Well, y'all probably can't even hear that. These pops for notification. Australia Core Logic dwelling prices. I don't even know what the hell that is. All right, about 5 seconds before this candle closes. And there it is. So that's a open above, a closure back in. And what do we get? We get a continuation short here. That is I think if we get back inside of where is it? Is it here? Yeah. Close to 930, maybe? No, that's 931. It's kind of in this candle. Yeah, maybe 930. And can see some more lower price, or for what it's worth, the previous day high, basically a retest potentially before. Let's see. Let's try this.
Order filled.
Let's go right here. And yeah, I had this initially laid out. Let's see. May not get a delivery that far, but let's see. If we can close basically through this level, which is going to be a swing point in an area of fair value, like for those of you that know me, know what and why I'm saying that. But and for those that don't know, that are not familiar with me, I look at these as just like targets. Like look, especially when you're looking at shorts, closures through, like I always expect them to be run, and this is already in an area of fair value. So if we can close through here, I could probably move, if we get the delivery short, move to maybe break even or a little bit into profit, and just kind of go from there. So Okay, we got about a minute to go before this candle closes. All right, 10 seconds before this candle closes. So this may be a buyer's trap. Really, anybody that would have been trading like a breakout might be trapped. And realistically, you could trap both you could trap both sides here too. So not taking myself off of the hook even in this, but not the tightest of stops, but in a fairly tight stop, like I could take my lumps if you know, if I was going to be trapped. But yeah, if there was anybody looking at like the previous day high, low, like I was looking at it, but they saw this and considered it like a breakout to run, you got them. Hey, is Hydra still in here? He may have dipped. He may have gone. I know initially when I started the stream, I had like my long short tool up, and he was asking me why I was short, and I told him I wasn't short, but I was kind of looking to see the play if we actually took this previous day high and closed back inside. This was kind of the scenario that I was looking to see. If I wasn't saying definitively it was going to happen, but this was one of the scenarios that I thought could play out. So I was only asking to see if he was still in here just to say like this is kind of obviously not just me, but I think all of us collectively would agree, like if we see a potential setup or something that is going to pan out, you're willing to wait it out, based on whatever you think the RR is, but honestly, like, to sit through a ridiculous amount of whatever nobody really wants to do, but excuse me. All right, about 5 seconds for this candle to close. Okay. Nice. Let's see if we run out this low. We've got a small amount of fair value there. 65. Might be looking here. Yeah. Okay. So in that, we'll move this into profit. So we'll see. That may be too tight, but that might actually be too tight. Because we may get like the whole you might get the windshield wiper effect here because of the gap. You can get, try to basically balance this out. or we could see, once I get run out and then eventually, um, pairing a price and then coming back in to balance that portion of the range out. But I say all that to say, like, that's what I mean when I saying that, like, I'm too tight because there's fair value here, but if it wants to pair, it's gonna come up in here, it'll probably take me out, which I guess, all things considered, it's in profit, but, um, let's see. Because this is not obviously, this is not mean threshold for this area of fair value. So see if that comes back up or if it continues short. Because see, it's taking liquidity, so, like, invariably, it can just come back up and then continue, or it can come up and, like I said, it can try to rebalance in here. So that would be mean threshold. Just clone that. Excuse me. So far, looking good. So far, so good. I think what I want to do is I'm going to maybe conclude the stream through StreamYard, and I think I want to hop over into OBS, so that way I can see, you know, what this is, and I want to actually just like incorporate probably some music into the live, like once it gets uploaded, because like I said, I don't know how the audio is going to sound. I don't think that you guys are getting the music through, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap here. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Just give me a few minutes. I'll load up the OBS and then we'll jump back in. I'll just have to like reorganize like my screens and everything, but I'll be back on. But let me see if I can figure out. Obviously, the main thing is the main thing. You gotta focus on the main thing real quick here. That is 1, that is 2. That is a volume imbalance, albeit extremely small. That is that. All right. So while that's indecisive, yeah, I was trying to see how get out of here. Deselect. All right, guys. I'll see you later.